I love what I get to do once a quarter with these inspirational calls to action. And I am especially excited that this call to action will focus on living a significant life. And so I will share some stories from the mission field. I will also invite you to have pen and paper because, as is the habit here, my guarantee is that you will walk away with at least one action that you can take. So let me do a screen share here. Okay, I love this quote by Les Brown. I actually heard it for the first time this morning from a mentor of mine. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you don't want will automatically take over. And in this quote, inherently, is the idea that you know what you want. You might just need to be encouraged to fight for it. Because again, if you don't fight for what you want, this is what you get. What you don't want will automatically take over. And so, in our brief time together, in thinking about territory and what is worth fighting for, I am going to frame our conversation in the context of the law of the compass. Now, in his book, 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork, John Maxwell actually presents 8 compass that should drive your vision. We're going to focus on 3. Moral compass. For this compass, when you have your territory defined using this compass as a lens, it brings integrity to your vision. Your intuitive compass, that's when you look within and that brings passion to what you want. And then your strategic compass, well, that's your how. That brings your process. And so I am going to share with you stories of ways in which I had to fight using my moral compass while in Rwanda, Africa, and Peru, South America. Now, I am a woman of faith. So as I present my territory, it's going to be in the context of my faith. I am going to pause here because what I want each of you to do is decide for yourself what brings integrity to what you want. What drives your moral compass? For our time together, I am going to focus specifically on what we in the faith world call prophetic words. So that's when someone hears something from God about your situation and shares it with you. So I'm going to speak about how prophetic words brought integrity to the territory I fought for. You think for yourself. What is going to be in the forefront of your mind as you think about fighting for your territory using your moral compass and how integrity is defined for you? Okay. Oh, that video was ready to get started. Let's start with Peru. And what I'm going to show you is a very short reel that highlights the activities that we did for 6 days while in Peru. We impacted over 900 youth, women, pastors, churches. We went into prisons. We held sessions for families and for adults. And in just 6 days, we impacted over 900 lives.
Joseph at the Battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joseph at the Battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Joseph at the Battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joseph at the Battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. You might talk about a man of Gideon. You might talk.
See, we did a lot. And let's talk about the first prophecy that was spoken over the team. And this prophecy was revealed to me. And so one day I was in prayer and God gave me this vision. I saw legions, not one, but legions of ministering angels that were going ahead of us to Peru. And God spoke to my heart that these angels were going to preserve the people, to protect them until we come, so that we would have the opportunity to interact with them. And when I tell you, especially the little people that we got to interact with, they were expecting. They had anticipation when we got there. But remember, in a fight, when you're fighting for your territory, you have to fight for what you want, or what you don't want will automatically happen. And so with all of these smiles on all of these faces, all of these children did not have a rose-colored story. Some of the children that we interacted with had not even reached teenage years yet, and have already had as part of their story a life of being sexually trafficked, abused, abandoned. And so when I am fighting for the territory of this prophecy, I am fighting to know that hearts have been preserved, that people we're going to come in contact with are people we're meant to come in contact with. There was a statement that was made by one of my team members that fueled my passion towards making a connection, especially with the youth. And this is what she said. We were doing a debrief of one of our activities with the youth. And she told us, she said, yeah, don't let go first. The team was like, huh? She said, when you hug, you don't know their story. So when you hug, don't be the first one to let go. And that became our strategy. Don't let go first. Now, I'm going to pause here. And I want you to think for yourself, in your story, does hearing this in any way make you think of a strategy you can use in fighting for the territory that you want? Because here's the thing about a fight. You have to believe in what you want. We honestly believe that there were hearts prepared for us. And now we had a strategy for how to care for those hearts. Don't let go first. If there's anything that just comes to mind for you for your story, jot it down. You see, strategies are not necessarily huge, unattainable, stretch goals. Sometimes they are as simple as don't let go first. The next prophecy that we received was actually from someone local here in Atlanta, the director of the Legacy Center Preschool. When our team went to volunteer, she prayed before we came and she asked God, did he have a word? And he had a word. The prophecy that was spoken over our team is that our team was like little carpenter bees, an elite team. We were small. There were only 7 of us. But the prophecy was we were small but would be impactful. And she just unfolded this prophecy in understanding that a bee goes to a flower. Now, the purpose is for the bee to fill itself up. But as the bee is going from flower to flower, the bee is also pollinating. The bee is also leaving things in the flowers. And so the prophecy was, as we go to Peru to do outreach to all of these communities, we ourselves would actually receive as we give. And so, what did that look like? One of the things that we did during ministry was teach the youth a 5-finger prayer, a very simple way to pray, to really demystify what is this praying. And when I tell you the children loved it, they really loved it. But in this particular space, in this picture, here is where I gave, but I also received. Because you see, when I first approached this site, the site to me looked dejected. I think that's a good word for it. It looked dejected. My sensory input, the things that I saw, the things that I smelled, they were putting me in a frame of mind that was not very excited and embracing. And I began to judge the environment that we were in. And it was so interesting because as we were leaving and we were told the story of this after school place, we were told that the founder, she started, when I say the founder, not of this facility, but the founder of this after school program, she used to go from door to door in the neighborhoods, go door to door. And if a child would come out, she would literally start teaching them right there in the street. And she did that faithfully. And then they found this place. And so then now they had a building for not only the children, but the mothers to come to as well. And then as they were telling the story, they were so excited. First, they were proud of the building, and then they were excited to let us know that they were beginning to outgrow this building. So now and soon it's going to be time to find another building. And when I tell you, I was both chastised and a bit ashamed of the judgment that I put on a place that for them became a place of better security, because she was no longer impacting these families in the middle of the street. As I thought about the prophecy of, as carpenter bees, as we give, we also receive. So first of all, hearing their story corrected my vision. and made me show up differently because you cannot always judge a situation by what you see. When you fight for the territory of understanding that when you walk in a place, you're not there just to give, but you're also there to receive, which means you have to accept that there's something of value in the place that you're walking in. And so that became my fight for this territory of the prophecy of this elite team of carpenter bees. From that point on, every place we went, when I tell you I eagerly was looking for what and how I could receive, I mean, I was fighting for that territory. And that story inspired me because there is an assignment that God has given me here in Atlanta. And I definitely already committed that I was going to do it. But similar to my heart posture with this facility, I didn't necessarily like what I was seeing in the place where he was calling me to go. But now I fight, and now my anticipation is different. And when you think about not judging a place based on your senses, but actually looking and expecting to receive, well, that takes us on over here to Rwanda, Africa. I was a part of a vision team that went to Rwanda, and oh, the stories that I can tell, the stories that I can tell. But first, what I want to show you is a day in the life of a typical Rwandan in a village. Today we're doing a day in the life. There you go. Now, I have to tell you, I don't know the last time I worked so hard to get dinner on the table. My goodness. But that example of a day in a life, that is an example of a wealthy family. And they have no automation. They have no technology. They have none of that. And so before I continue my story, I'm going to pause and I'm going to invite you to think into your story. Is there something about this territory that you have identified that at first thought, it looks like it's not a place that has a lot of wealth, or it looks like it's not a place that has a lot to offer? How can you change your strategy? How can you reframe your passion about it if you don't judge it based on what you see, but you open your eyes to see value in a different way? Now I'm going to show you something absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let me set the stage. In case you don't know the history of Rwanda, 30 years ago, they had this 100 days of genocide. Over 800 million people were slaughtered. And it totally brought the country to its knees. And so they are even now still in the rebuilding phase. And so when you hear their story, but you don't just see despair, if you hear their story and you look for what are nutrients that you can take from it, one of the things that came out of their rebuilding is this practice that they call umuganda. The first Saturday of every month, every single person, the country shuts down first Saturday in the morning. Every single person goes home, and as a community, they clean up their neighborhood. And this is what umuganda looks like.
What's up, great peoples? I'm here with Caleb Weaver, and it is Umuganda here in Rwanda. And this is the day where the community gets together and we work. Everybody, it's mandatory for this country that the last Saturday of every month we get together and we work. Currently, right now, we're digging trenches to be able to stop erosion. We're on this big hill. Sweating, putting our hand to the plow, literally, and we're just making trenches so that houses are saved in the future. That's a little down the hill from us. There's a song that's being sung right now, and my brother was breaking it down. What does it mean?
We are saying tuzarwubaka abana b'abanyarwanda. Okay, that means that we build our nation as we are Rwanda.
We build our nation.
Yeah, we are here to develop our country, Rwanda.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Uganda from Rwanda.
That video was put together by one of my team. You can tell the Americans. We sitting there with cameras. We supposed to be digging trenches. We sitting there with cameras. But can you imagine? And so again, being a carpenter bee in that space, what I took from it is now I actually want to institute umuganda in my local community. And so my question to you as we come to a close is, when you think about your own world and how you can change your world, here's the truth. Small actions lead to big differences in a community of people. Don't let go first. Be a part of a collective project. And these changes, they form a bridge. And then as you cross that bridge, you now have a story. And as you share your story, others want to become a part of it. So in hearing just some of the stories from the mission field, what is one action that you are inspired to take? What is a bridge that you can create to fight in your territory?